Hello. I will have to give you a little bit of backstory for the video that's coming up. Before I was holding on to my rocket launcher, I was in my Nightmare Dominator when I saw 3 players, one in a tank and one in a jet. The other one, I don't know what vehicle they were in, but they were causing a ruckus amongst a lot of the other players right as the maximum damage game began. I cruised over to him, and the one in the jet decided to blast at me with his 50 cal or whatever that jet has. And that's where we are. I'm jumping in my Deluxo to get some revenge potatoing. Technically, the Goober and the jet actually didn't get a potatoing on me, but he was blasting my Nightmare Dominator to pieces. I luckily jumped out and ran away. That's when I jumped in my Deluxo, so I figured I might as well go after the tank too. Ha ha ha, it seems today I might be being a little bit of a troll, more than usual, but in my opinion, they were getting ready to cause a ruckus again anyway. The player in the jet, let's call him XXX blah blah blah. XXX bland. The other player, let's call Violated. I go ahead and head back over to the store to see if I can get them to follow me. There. And let me tell you, they absolutely disappoint. So I go ahead and jump in my RC Paragon and head back over towards them. They're potatoing NPCs and players alike. So I go ahead and put them in Malone Zone. With some intense potatoing using my Paragon, I'm sure I was able to get them pretty upset. So now let's go ahead and dig in and see what happens next, shall we? I come back into the store. This time I know for sure they'll come on over. Ha 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 ha!
Good God!
After a potatoing or two inside the store, I decide to go ahead and pull the on top of store trick, and it certainly does not disappoint. It is absolutely exciting and entertaining. Let's go ahead and dig in and take a look, shall we? As you can see, our good old buddy Violated is still up to his tricks. By tricks, I mean just potatoing everyone around. And then you can see XXX blah bland XX hanging out over in the underground pass between the store and the Pay and Spray. The business is about to pick up. Let's take a look. After that madness, I decided to go ahead and hop in the Deluxo and try to go after one of these goobers, and I fail horribly. He was able to launch a couple rockets at me, and I was able to dodge one, but the moment I had to get a potatoing on, him slipped away quite quickly. So now I jump in my RC Bandito. He jumped up into some high ground, but I was able to find him. I tried to launch at him and I miss. He ends up jumping down to the street, so I try to time my detonation with him landing and falling, and I end up missing. But the cool part is that as soon as I spawn, I am right in front of him, so we go ahead and have a quick little fight. I head down into the subway so I can have a little bit of safety, and I hide from them because they're still jumping into their RC vehicles as well. Well, I'm hiding down there. We can start hearing the loud buzzing of a drone, so you know what I'm about to do. As soon as I spawn, I jump into tank. and I hide. But while I'm hiding, I'm also searching for the other goobers, while they're in their RC vehicles as well. We end up fighting Tanky versus Tanky and come to a stalemate. I think he ended up losing me. So he runs away, and as soon as I respawn, I'm in the perfect location to get a hit on the violated goober. I love these spawn locations when I can trick them like this. It's so spectacular. I take myself out a couple of times while Blah Bland is still in his tanky. About 5 minutes later, we end up tangled up again on another location in an area with an apartment complex and a couple other buildings. We start launching potatoes at each other for a couple minutes, and he finally ends up coming close to me, which was, as usual, a mistake. A potato Blah Bland again, and then I run out to the street and try to snipe, and that's when the cops take me out. After all the fun, putting those two into the Malone zone and giving them the full gusting whiff of the fart jar, I decided to head on close to my agency. That's when I know there's a bounty hanging out in the apartment complex across the street. I go off radar jump in my building. I go up to the roof, I find them, and I blast them to potatoes. Incidentally, my two friends, the goobers that we were calling the Violated and XX Blah Bland XXX, have shown up again, and I fail miserably. What a pathetic noob move from the fart jar. At this point, I figured I would just wait where I was at for those two goobers to come on back over, and before I see them, another character shows up and honks his horn at me, so I go ahead and jump into his vehicle. I decided to be a smart aleck and pull out some stickies and try to throw them onto the goober's vehicle. I end up getting lots of mashed potatoes, but it wasn't the ones I wanted. I ended up blowing up my ride, and the other guy that was some random character just hanging out. XX Bland Blah XX, and the Violated one ended up surviving. At this point, I think I'm done. I'm a bit bored. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. So I go ahead and jump on a motorcycle and take it back to my agency and pull it into the garage. Maybe I'll soup it up and cruise around on that and try to troll people at some point. Who knows? Anyway, I hope all of you had fun, and I hope you had a blast. I know that I did. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is a very nice thing to do. I hope to see you all on the next one. Have a great day.